Everybody.
Good morning.
How's it going? Good.
If you guys are ready to get started, we thought we'd tell you our icebreaker tags and get 2 people to share theirs as well. Mine, you'll hear a lot of crazy things on my journey, but one of the craziest things that I did, my first on-air talent gig was dressing as a chicken for the Bill Nye the Science Guy show, so that was kind of fun.
Which she still does on occasion at the office,
yeah,
which is great.
It's a good motivation tool.
Keeps on doing that. Mine was at the opening of Celebration Cinemas in Grand Rapids. They had a opening night, and they had a red carpet night where they had celebrity impersonators. I got to walk the red carpet being Chris Farley. So, got to yell at people, got the blood moving. So, hey, I'm fine now. So, that was awesome. They had Diana Ross, Kevin Bacon, and Chris Farley. So, anyone want to volunteer yours?
Yeah, let's hear one.
1 or 2? Yes?
Well, I started a photo project called The People of Detroit. I got an email at 3 o'clock in the morning, and it was someone asking me if I was shooting in China. And it was someone who was doing an ad campaign for McDonald's China. So I went to Shanghai for 3 weeks and did an ad campaign for a multinational corporation.
Wow, that's awesome.
Very
Great.
cool. 3 in the morning.
Okay, who else? Let's hear another one. Great.
Yes.
I used to work at Camp Leewald. I made a presentation once on behalf of the Chief of Naval Operations of the United States Navy, every living 3- and 4-star admiral in the Navy, talking to them about millennials, and it included the former director of the CIA, Stansfield Turner, which was a kind of interesting crowd to present to when you're trying to talk about marketing.
Nice.
So I'm Jen Gray, and this is my cohort in crime, Darren Brady. We are from E-Prize, as it says up there. We're just a few miles up the street, where our company is headquartered in Pleasant Ridge, and we have offices in New York, Chicago, LA, and Seattle. And if you don't know who we are, we started 13 years ago. We're a digital engagement company really focusing on campaigns, like multi-channel campaigns across mobile, social, web, really doing fun activation campaigns, incenting people, rewarding people for interacting, playing games, for the chance to win, as well as full-scale loyalty programs. So we have the privilege really of working with like some of the biggest brands in the world every day. Last year alone, we're a different kind of agency where we have a foundation in technology, but we also have a very strong strategy of creative and mobile components to our business. So last year alone, we worked with over 800 brands and agencies worldwide, and we work in over 44 countries. So we're pretty proud to say that we're from Detroit, and we're headquartered here and have over 300 people in our office here. And so Bethany asked us to come because we're part of that organization, and you know, she asked us to share a little bit about our journeys, our creative journeys, and how we ended up where we are and where we continue to go, really. And you know, Darren and I sat down and we were digging in. We knew each other's backgrounds, but we were kind of having fun talking about the specifics of how we started out, where we were going. We were finding there were a lot of similarities in our journeys, and one of them is really, you know, whatever field that you're in, really staying true to your passion and keep, you know, it's going to diverge a lot, but if you stay true to who you are and what you want to do, you will get to where you want to go. The other thing is to get there, really you might have to do anything and everything to get there. But all of those experiences, whether you think that they're diverging from the path or not, you learn from them, and they contribute to your creative experience.
Yeah, the passion thing is the big thing, and one thing in starting out is what is your passion? You know, I always kind of knew it's almost like what you're supposed to do. It never feels like work. It's what you're supposed to do. When I was younger, it was always I'd like to draw, and I like to do voices and make people laugh. And I have a career in that, and it's always been part of it. And even when there's different, you diverge a little bit, you get off the path, you know, let's say, you know, I can give you, should I start in one? Yeah. Yeah, in high school and everything, draw for the paper. And, you know, no matter what you're doing, I was always drawing from little on up. And doing voices for no other reason, just because I like to. And I do like 30 different celebrity voices, and I'll explain that and everything, and how that has led to where I'm at here. But I'm an Albion College grad, and I went there for pre-med. Yeah. I was in pre-med, then I jumped on the econ train and got my degree. But because, you know, some of the family thought, you know, yeah, you just might not be able to follow this art thing. How are you going to make money in the art thing? This is before a lot of the computers are doing a lot of art on computers, where it's still a lot of hand-drawn stuff, where you're doing whiteout around font lines and things like that. Where's the money in art? So you should go to dentistry, okay? And so I did. I didn't finish the pre-med, but I got my degree from Albion, and I went right 2 months later out to California to the motion picture screen cartoonist into animation school, okay? 2 months later. And so while going to animation school, you start networking and freelancing. And no matter what job, I was working at a Blockbuster. I worked at a video store in high school. I worked at a Blockbuster there. But what did you tell people? What did I tell people I did was, I'm an artist. I'm a cartoonist. I'm an animator. You have a card with you at all times. That's who you are. That's your passion. You never know. And sell yourself. You never know who you're going to meet. While at Blockbuster, I met a guy who needed artwork just by talking to him. Here's my card. He was kind of a crazy inventor guy. He used to do pitch business. He used to be like a Ginsu pitchman, okay? And he was trying to do his other projects on the side and would need art for it. So after a while, he's like, look, I need some help. We're doing these California fairs up and down California. We got big shows coming up. You can come help me do this pitch business thing, because I did artwork for him for about a year. Again, always pitching that I want to be an artist. And he says, look, come with me. You'll make more money doing this than at Blockbuster. So I did. So I ended up being in the pitch business selling Ginsu knives. Okay? What I was doing was getting used to being on microphone and being in front of people and being able to pitch and sell. And slicing a tomato down to where you could read through it. After cutting into a hammer, slicing that tomato right then, and there's more. Before you got the 6 steak knives, you know, I started learning about how to communicate. It's not like what I'm not like a speaker or anything like that, but it got me, you'll see other things open up. And so while we were doing the state fairs in California, there was an opportunity to go around the nation for about a month and a half doing super sales. Remember back in the days, you used to see the commercials, Cobo Arena, super sales. You're going to have TVs, VCRs, this and that, the super sales. You'd have the pitchmen and everything else. I travel around. We go to Houston, we go to Minneapolis, Detroit, all the like Silverdome and things like that, and you do the sales pitch kind of thing. While I was home, a fellow Albion person said, hey, we're doing Disney animation in Ann Arbor. We're doing the Disney animated storybooks. You should interview. We're hiring. And so, while on my trek, you know, month and a half trek away from California doing the pitch business, I interviewed, cool, we're going to bring you in after this next project. Okay, so, you know, out in LA for 4.5 years, I came back, you know, here to do animation in Ann Arbor for Disney, which is great, okay? Because I went through the riot in '92, which was unbelievable in LA, but what sealed it was the earthquake in '94, right? 4 in the morning, you got up at 3 for the call. 4 in the morning, that earthquake will really wake you up. Everything you own within seconds is on the ground. So that was really easy to come back. So while I'm waiting for that job to happen, they were finishing up Lion King before Winnie the Pooh, all right, for animation and whatnot. I'm kind of in limbo. And again, connecting with fellow creatives and everything. You know, in LA, I started getting some more freelance work, go on the road, make some money for rent, but still come back and work on the art career, always. Always, whatever your passion is. And so, so what happened was, the job didn't happen yet. About 3 months, I'm bouncing at a bar, Woolly Bullies in Northville, and I'm doing electrical work, just waiting for this job to happen. Bummed out. I have no connections, no in the art world, what I really wanted to do, or anything, or voices, or anything like that. So at night, we close the bar down, and I get on microphone and do voices. Something I just like to do. There was a manager that worked 1 day a week at the castle because she liked comedy. He says, look, there's an improv troupe. You should really, you know, audition for this, okay? Take chances with stuff even if you're not comfortable with. Especially when you're, you know, younger and things like that. Take some chances. Improv, audition, why not? And with sometimes being a right side of the brain or creative, it's hard to pull your ass off the couch sometimes. And, you know, we're creative. It's just not there. I don't feel like drawing. Ooh, what's on? You know what I mean? It was one of those mornings. Oh, great football game's on. Oh, this is that audition thing, right? So, all right. So I ended up going. That decision opened up many, many, many doors. Okay, just by taking that chance. The Comedy Castle, Mark Ridley's improv troupe. Here's some things that came from it, including E-Prize. First thing was, the lady that ran the troupe, studied at Second City, Chicago, is now my wife. We started dating 2 weeks after that audition. We have a 17-year-old son, almost 17. My wife and son came out of that, okay? One, we performed, the troupe ran in 1993, so I did 11 years on that stage at Mark's every week, doing improv. By the way, we're there Wednesday night. Come out and see us. 12, 12, 12. Please come out and see us. There's a plug. Every week. So again, all that time being on the road pitching and being on microphone and doing voices when there's no one coming to sell Ginsus to, you start talking like Bugs Bunny and doing other voices it led to this. It led to that audition. It led to my family, okay? But it also led to different art careers, because what am I always doing? I'm pitching, you know, the voices and art. I'm an artist. So, the guy came to our show who ended up doing the Michigan and American Chiller series, kids books. I did 33 covers for Jonathan Rand, okay? That led to my wife and I. After that, we have our own book series out now, okay? We started our own book. Mick Morris, Miss Solver, Ghost Board Posse. We even have a How to Draw book, okay? We could give you the information later. So all these things are opening up by that chance. And there was a guy at E-Prize who was a vice president there at E-Prize who wanted to be a comedian. It was his passion. So he was an open micer, and open micers would come up before our show on Tuesdays. And he said, hey, look, we're looking for artists. Why don't you come into E-Prize? I've been there almost 9 years. Freelance for a year and a half, then finally came in. And it's crazy how things like that happen. Those little networking, always pitching what you're passionate about. For the voices too. During that time, and still do, I do radio. I did WDFN in Detroit for years. I do all the celebrity impersonations. I'm still on in Grand Rapids on ESPN Radio. Jim Leland or Lou Holtz or other voices or Ozzy or Christopher Walken. Skipper, Jim Leland, do all that thing, but you cry. Maggie's hitting, well, let's have a smoke. You know? But it's what I love to do. And so think about what you're passionate about. Like Jen said, what are you passionate about? I was always, from little on, I wanted to draw, I love doing voices. For no reason. I watched Bugs Bunny, I wanted to talk like him. It's silly. Worst is when I was trying to learn Roger Rabbit, living in California, that'll really piss off your roommates. You know? Start talking like Roger Rabbit. Oh man, drive people nuts. But I did it for what I love to do. Never feels like work. Those blockbusters and other things like the selling and pitching, those were jobs. But you know, what I do now as a career never feels like work. And all those kind of different bumps and those different paths lead to what we do at E-Prize. It's a fast pace, okay? You have to be able to juggle and move. The place is different every 6 months. It's a different place to work. We're working on different stuff. So, but again, it doesn't feel like work because it's what I'm supposed to do, you know? Even at E-Prize, I'd use the voices. We do a lot of voiceovers and character voices for our promotions. I use them there. I created a team. I came in as a designer, but what I love to do is characters, animation, and things, so I created a team that we do the 3D animation, 2D animation, character design, all hands-on work. I have the opportunity to create a team of doing what I love. So again, finding that passion, it'll work the whole career. And Jen and I were talking just before here. At one point, when my son was 1, and when I was working for that animated storybook company in Ann Arbor, we did a Universal Studios project where I got to do Boris and Natasha kind of stuff, right? And it was one of those things where the Universal had to sign off on some of the voices. So Don Pitts, Mel Blanc's agent, Bugs Bunny's agent, said, look, you come out to LA, we'll get you work, you know? And we just had a little one. I didn't want to raise my son in LA. So choices will change. You know, paths won't, there'll be different, harder decisions to make. But you can still, it's like, wow, man, shouldn't you have went out there to try the voice stuff? No. You know, it changed a little bit. You know, we're raising our son here. He's doing great. You know, the family, we're cool. And it's like, I can still, even though I didn't make that jump, by following what I love to do, have a place to work like this, to where I still can do what I love to do. and what you're passionate about. And again, whatever you think you're passionate about, it's probably the same stuff you thought as a little kid. It's probably the same stuff. So that's kind of my path in a crazy nutshell. Improv, voices, art, and I get to do it now. So.
Well, thanks. Well, that's a hard act to follow. You will not be hearing any strange voices coming from me. But as Darren said, you know, we do have similar paths. As a kid, I was always a performer, really into music and every band and performance that you can imagine, always doing crafts and wanting to tell stories. So when I went to college, I went to Miami of Ohio. For some of you who may know who Jane Pauley is, my goal was to be the next Jane Pauley, who was one of the first women hosts of the Today Show. So I went into communications and television production, and I soon learned that I did not really want to be in front of the camera, but I liked concepting and coming up with a strategy, the strategy and being involved in the production and the creative process. So, like I said, I went to school for television production, and I really tried to find every avenue I could, like many of you do, I'm sure, and have done, is, you know, find internships and non-paying gigs. And, you know, my first one was in my hometown of Petoskey, Michigan, doing a video production internship. And then, you know, summer before my senior year in college, I was trying to work connections. And one of my professors actually knew Ray Combs, who was the host of Family Feud. He was actually from Ohio, so we called him up and said, listen, I want to get into film and TV business. Is there anything in LA that's out there for me? He's like, great, let me talk to my production company. So I got a gig on Baywatch. Now, I was not in a swimsuit, frolicking down the beach, but I was answering phones at the front desk, copying scripts, and really getting DJs for the producer's kids' bar mitzvahs that summer. But what I did learn is that you have to absorb everything that you're exposed to, right? I was like looking at those scripts as I was copying them. How are they formatted? What am I absorbing from the pitch meetings that I'm in? And, you know, what is that whole creative process? That same summer, the same production company was doing this charity movie production. The Zucker brothers, who did Airplane and Naked Gun, they were doing this charity production. So I got to be an intern on that as well. And, you know, I think back at those moments, like Darren said, that really made a difference in your life and stand out. So one day, so I got to meet this property master. His name was Jackie Ackerman. And he was this really amazing older gentleman. And I got to know him and kind of followed him around and learned from him. His first job, this is amazing, was to wag the tail on the lion in The Wizard of Oz. I mean, talk about an amazing, you know, he was rooted in film history. I mean, he said he would crawl around on the scaffolding on set and wag it with like a fishing pole. Really high tech. Anyway, we were in an elevator one day, and he pulled out this box, you know, this little box, and he opened it up, and it had every single size wedding band that you could imagine. And he says, every good property master carries one of these around, because you never know when you need a wedding ring in a scene. And so he said, Jen, will you marry me? I thought, I'm 20. He's maybe 70. I'm not sure if this is going to work out, Jackie. But, you know, he did say, I would hire one of you Midwest kids over anybody out there. He said, you are genuinely hardworking and talented kids, and, you know, thank you for doing all that you do. And that really stuck with me, the fact that, you know, all these people in LA, there's glitz and glam, but I was just there to work hard and learn, and I've really carried that throughout my whole career. You know, just do what it takes, do what you need to do, whether you like it or not, and you learn from it. So anyway, that was that. So after my senior year in college, you know, every one of my roommates and classmates was going to the Career Center and getting hired by consulting firms and getting their teaching gigs and whatever. Well, I'm like going through this LA 411 book, sending hundreds of letters out to production companies in LA and on the West Coast. And again, looking for connections. My boyfriend, now husband, and I decided we wanted to move to Seattle. So I was in a sorority. I'm looking through sorority directories. Who knows who knows who? So I found this woman who worked at the PBS station in Seattle. and I went out there for an interview, and she said, you know what, there's this brand new production starting up. Why don't you go interview with them? They're just down in a warehouse down the street. So I did, and they hired me. I was so excited. I got a non-paying gig as a graduate from college, right? On Bill Nye the Science Guy show, which nobody knew of. I was taking a big gamble. So I packed up my bags and I drove across country without a paying job. Blessed my parents for supporting me in that endeavor. So I got out there, started work the next month, and found through my new friends, waitressing gigs at night. I was literally pouring beer for bikers at this place called the Lion's Lair Tavern. But by day, I was flying into volcanoes with Bill Nye. It was really amazing, and just by taking that gig and it worked. A couple months later, I got hired, and I was there for 85 episodes. So really fun. So let's see. The next is really, like Darren said, being open to the unknown. So one hiatus period of the Bill Nye Show production, Microsoft was looking for all of these TV people. They wanted to hire TV producers and storytellers for this new product they were coming out with MSN. So a bunch of my friends took a gamble, and we all went over to the Microsoft network to produce stories for online. And it was terrifying. We would call each other from like the little alcoves in the hallways at Microsoft. The phone still had cords. We were calling each other like, what the heck is HTML, JPG, Future Splash, which is now Flash. They are speaking in a completely different language. Like, what the heck is this? You realize that you learn very quickly, and fundamentally, you are telling stories to affect people and build relationships, right? The mediums change, the technologies change. Fundamentally, what you're doing is communicating. So I had really the pleasure to work on some of the first, live action stories online. Really, they were radio plays with still imagery. Got to produce what I think is the first online animated cartoon with Spumco, the guys who did Ren and Stimpy. But the big joke of when I was at Microsoft, or MSN, one of the years I was there, was Microsoft spent $400 million building content for MSN. NASA spent $400 million the same year building a rover to Mars, sending it to Mars, and they got more hits on their website in one day than we got in a year. But Microsoft, NASA, and I all gambled on the unknown, right? And it all paid off, like for every single one of us. So anyway, my story takes a lot of journeys. One thing about being in Seattle at that time was the web world was crazy. Everybody was chasing IPOs. Everybody was looking for that next get rich, what's gonna hit. And it really was a frenzy, and I got caught up a little bit in it, interviewing for different places and looking for who's gonna go public in the next 6 months, am I gonna strike it rich? And I interviewed at a lot of different places, and I'm really glad that I didn't take some of those jobs that I was offered, because, at the time they were calling it the golden handcuffs, and you shouldn't chase the money, you gotta chase what you love. And I learned this later every day at the Oprah show when I worked there, that really do what you love and the rewards will come. So anyway, I worked at some other places. Pop, I helped, is a thriving agency in Seattle. My friend Bill helped start that, and Corbis and some other places. And then never thought necessarily I'd move back to the Midwest, but family called, and we were looking, and I found it. I was trolling monster.com at the time, and a job for Oprah.com came up. So I went to Chicago and found connections. Again, Dan said it's all about the connections. I found someone from my TV gig who knew someone who worked there, who I called incessantly. They connected me to the right person and talked to them and got the gig. So packed up and moved back across country, and really my 7 years there was tremendous. And honestly, I thought that was it. I thought I had found the place that I was going to be for the rest of my life, working for one of the most influential women out there, surrounded by some of the most talented people. It was exciting and new and different every day. Being part of Oprah.com at the time, and really, 99 I started there, and the internet was really just becoming a platform and a conduit for people to talk to each other. What a better platform for the Oprah audience. You know, it's really amazing the things that we could do. But again, never thought I'd live in Detroit. Never thought I'd be back in Michigan. My husband's from here, and we decided, you know what? We took one jump. Let's take the next jump back to our home state. And I really waited to find a place that could feed my creativity. I never thought I'd found a place that was as fast-paced and had as much passion as the Oprah show, and I did. And I waited till I found it. And you know, I've been at ePrize over 7 years now, had many different roles as the company grows, but you know, as Darren said, it's just such a privilege. I'm still telling stories. I'm telling them in a different way. I'm working with some of the biggest brands in the world, and really our whole goal is to create emotional connections between all of you and the brands that you interact with every day. So again, the story hasn't changed along the way. The journey has taken a really, I never knew that I'd end up here, but I'm so glad that I did. So what we are going to do...
Yeah, it is that storytelling and connecting with each other that, you know, the stuff in your background helps. The years of improv, or even the pitch business helps. Pitching and selling is an experience for you guys, for the users.
Yeah.
And so it's all that stuff that you do will wrap up into, you know, hopefully your career.
And really learning every day, like, you know, my bartending gig, I realized, like, we're all in the service business, right? Everybody should be in the service business, but no matter what job you are, you're in the service business. It's all about making those personal connections in every single job that you have. You know, so you just take those things away. Work hard, follow your passion, do what you need to do to get where, you know, to get where you want to go. So, and we've had some fun stops along the way.
Yeah.
But, so we thought we'd kind of get the juices flowing here, and we wanted to do a little creative brainstorm like we do at work. So you guys up for that? Sure. All right.
This is something we do for all the new ePrizers coming in. We call it ePrize University. This is actually one of our things in the creative department. We put everyone through a brainstorm because that's a big part of it, just getting the minds together and creating. Yeah, I can probably do it over the side.
And actually, like
Yeah.
everybody in our company, whether you're in finance or technology, or we all do this. So we just thought we'd have some fun. Because it's creative morning, right?
Yeah.
We've had our coffee.
We'll throw an easy assignment at everyone here. It's something that we're all familiar with. Let's say our client is Universal Orlando Resorts, which was one of our clients at the time, but we'll make up a whole hypothetical thing for it. Universal Orlando Resorts wants people to get excited for, and this is hypothetical, the new Moe's Tavern coming to Universal City Walk down there. They're gonna pretend that they're opening up a Moe's Tavern. And the client wants to get people fired up for it. They want families to come down. They want a whole year of things to happen before, you know, get to generate excitement and buzz. They're interested in pricing. There's the budget's pretty great. There's a very good budget. We'll talk about that later. But you know, we're thinking, don't worry about the money. Think of great prizes and fun stuff we could do. What do you got? So.
Do you have a pen?
Yeah. One of the first things we do to fire up for that is. The first thing we do before we start giving the thing is we just scribble. Scribbling's important, getting ideas and everything out there. Okay? Circles.
I used to hold mics.
Circles, squares. You know, you never know what you're going to get by just scribbling. You never know what you're going to get from brainstorming. You know, you can draw Simpsons just with scribble and things like that. Homer's eyes never look the same way, makes him look stupider, right? So get that. My wife and I were doing kids' books presentations for the Mick Morris stuff. We run around doing school visits for this. So we do The Simpsons, we do voices for other things. We won't do the SpongeBob stuff, but Homer's one of the voices that is fun to do. Woo! Yes, so to get your voices thinking, so there's our assignment. Let's brainstorm for this hypothetical Moe's Tavern coming up. What would be cool? What would you want to see in a promotion? What would be cool to go to a website and say, I'm going to go down there?
Beer.
Beer. What can we do with the beer?
Produce a line of Duff.
What's that?
Produce some Duff.
Produce some Duff.
Right? You know, Duff's is synonymous with Moe's Tavern. Maybe some of the prizes, they're giving out tons of keychains or beer cozies or Duff's beer, getting everyone fired up with the grand opening date on it and the website. What else about Moe's or what else about The Simpsons? It's what, 22 years. We're all a little bit familiar with it. What else would be cool to do? What would be a great prize for this promotion?
What makes it personal to you?
We have a show behind it, so you can do like a voice or be a character on the show. That'd be awesome.
Grand prize, be a character on the show. Or?
A day with Krusty the Clown.
A day with Krusty the Clown. That's awesome.
How about your own Krusty the Clown outfit?
Right.
For the next Halloween.
Well, think about that. The grand prize, what if you are there for the grand opening with Matt Groening? What's that?
Hang out with Homer.
Hang out with Homer, that's right. You get to meet Dan Castellaneta and the whole cast on the grand opening. That would be an ultimate grand prize. And what are you doing? You're flying a family down there, and you're also getting people in the Orlando resort area, seeing the sights and everything else.
What about on your phone? Do you want anything on your phone?
I think it should be dinner with Mo Sizlak.
Dinner with Mo.
That'd be awesome.
Prank call Mo.
That's it. Awesome. The prank calls. That's exactly it. So part of the promotion is every week there's a new crank call to do. You can have Bart call and crank call other people.
Yeah.
Just by texting in, or crank call Mo itself. That's awesome.
Right. Like what if you can set wake-up calls for your friends and it's Mo, right?
Yeah.
How fun would that be?
We just did.
We just did this. We just did wake-up calls for Black Friday for our clients. Darren, Christopher Walken could wake you up.
Wake up! It's time to shop for Black Friday. It's nice to wake up at 4 in the morning to save $5 on a new pan. So, wake up, sleepyhead, rub your eyes, get out of bed. Ho, ho, ho. And that's how the wake-up calls. We did Paul McCartney, and Karen and I did Homer and Marge Simpson as well. So I'm lucky I have a spouse that does the voices. She does Marge, I do Homer, Boris and Natasha, Edith and Archie, Bucket Egg, the whole thing. So, another story. What else, Simpson-wise? So that's good. The grand prize is getting your family down there. Other prizes supporting it are Duff's product. But there's still a lot. It's a family eatery. What do you think would help draw interest in family? Yes?
If you create like a child area, where there's skateboards for like the Bart thing and,
Nice.
and Maggie and so forth.
Yes. Yeah, get some kid appeal to it.
Right.
Again, it's not just for adults.
And you can help design it. Right.
Or an online Bart game. Besides the crank calls, you have Bart skating through it. Maybe part of this year-long promotion is you're periodically giving people a glimpse into it. Concept art. Now let's see what the final product looks like. You're keeping that buzz. And hey, your phone rings, new concept art up, new part opened up for you to see at Moe's Tavern. It's coming.
Right. Or what about those, you've seen those like Homer Simpson in your pocket things that you can buy at Urban Outfitters or something, What if that's on your cell phone? What if that's your ring? What if that, reinforcing that connection all the time? Yeah?
Way to share your favorite Simpsons moment, maybe?
Yes.
Love it. Way to share your favorite Simpsons moment.
Social sharing, absolutely. Get people talking about it, keep generating buzz. It's a long promotion, so those are some of the things you got to think about. Yeah.
You can create an app to have a virtual experience before you get there. Some people, although they want to travel, they want to experience it first. And so creating an app, getting people to talk about it through social media. I do social media marketing. My name is Nana.
Hi.
Nice smile.
Yeah. You see about selling yourself? Yeah.
So things like that, so they can get a connection to it, and then they can share it with their friends. So
Right.
An app that allows them to continuously share it, and then it connect with the beer and experience like that.
Perfect.
But not just connect with the beer for families. Let's have a thing where you're going to design a burger, a design part of the kids menu, and share what your name of your burger and how you designed it. Maybe have a voting on it to have people vote for chances to win.
Or that Duff beer truck pulls up to your house and you have a big kegger right at your house, So anyway, go ahead.
This is kind of low brow, but downloadable ringtone.
Yes. Yeah. Yes.
This is Bart Simpson. Who the hell are you?
Yeah, absolutely.
Downloadable ringtones, yeah.
And more released
You
over
go through
time.
all the characters so that you'd have a new one every month.
Yeah,
Just to keep fresh.
that's the thing.
Yeah.
Even obscure characters like Bumblebee Man and things like that. There's enough with 22 years of The Simpsons to keep generating content and people coming back for a year. Absolutely. There's tons to do.
Right, and the whole goal, drive excitement, make people laugh, and do the unexpected. Whether it's like your phone ringing in a business meeting and it's Homer Simpson. Like, how funny is that? So really, that's really a brainstorm on the fly, and a lot of things that we do multiple times a day and every day, and just wanted to share a little bit in the fun and get our juices flowing in the morning. So, you guys have any questions for us? It's really it.
thought just popped into my mind. At ePrize, what is your layout like? Do you guys put into consideration your office layout to help with the creativity?
Yeah, so we are in this, the building has been many things, but an old brewery in Pleasant Ridge. If you're driving down 696, we're right east of Woodward, you'll see this like white brick tower. That's our building. And it's really a crazy old building, you know, brick walls, multiple floors, but we have these huge open spaces. We have what we call pods. They're almost like kidney bean shaped desks. Yeah, there's our building.
There's the building.
But it's really open. I mean, the creative teams are sitting with the producers, are sitting with our legal team, are sitting with our software engineers, because ideas come from everywhere,
yep.
right? And that's what's so important, is that collaboration, because we all bring a different perspective to what we're giving to the client. So it's really open and collaborative. Everybody has a laptop. We're all moving around from our desks all day long.
There's no cubes. It's all like kidney bean looking things, but there's no cubes. It's all
no
open.
Walls, no
yeah.
nothing.
I think you had another picture of Melissa took it. That's for Bill Nye, that science guy.
That was 20 years ago. I just thought I'd do a screen grab. That's me in the static electricity show. The things that you do for your passion, right?
My desk there, but you really can't get a
yeah.
idea. The big screen's killing my eyes, but yeah, it's very open. Purple, red walls. It's very
collaborative.
Yeah. Everyone's like the higher ups doors are all glass, and they're typically open, so there's not much closed door anything there ever.
There's not one room that you can shut off and not see in. So, you have a question?
What's the craziest promotion you worked on?
Well, there's been some challenging ones. One of the cool ones we did was like for when True Blood came out on HBO, okay? And it's like, to generate buzz for True Blood, the show wasn't out yet. And so a month or two before, HBO and its affiliates were doing, like the different cable affiliates were doing a promotion for it. And nobody really had an idea, unless you read the books, what it was about. So it was cool. We went to HBO in New York, and we got to see, they put you in a little room, and you got to see, no cameras or anything else, just the first couple episodes. And so what we had to do was come back and create a promotion for True Blood without any assets, any music, any actors' images, no set images, but to still keep that feel. So those are the kind of challenges that are cool. We also did a Sopranos thing for HBO, which was Whack-A-Soprano, which was like a whack-a-mole game. And so like Uncle June would pop up and Christopher, and he'd hit him down, that was a fun one too.
We did do some live campaigns with the WWE, where our general counsel was like literally in the ring at live events, and a couple of the guys, he wasn't like actually wrestling, right? But a couple of the guys at work have their own like belts, WWE belts. I mean, we do something different every day.
It was Win
right
McMahon's
now,
$1 million. Win McMahon's million.
Yeah,
so they bring out the $1 million cash right there.
So we're calling people live.
Is that before or after the election?
Way before, a couple of years ago. Right now, we all know this as kids, but it's interesting. Toys R Us is running this campaign right now where it's ringtone, we call it ringtone karaoke, sing-tone karaoke, where, I don't know, you've probably seen their commercials online. It's these kids at a reporter desk, and they're saying, not many kids know the Toys R Us theme song anymore. Like, all of us can sing that, right? So it's literally, you text a keyword in, and the song, it calls you back, and you play, and you sing, I Want to Be a Toys R Us Kid song, and you can post it anywhere, and that's really fun, too. I mean, there are thousands of different creative things that we've done, so I don't know, we could go on forever about fun things. Yeah.
I know ePrize has worked with major companies. You guys have some great clients. Is there any ideal big catch out there that you guys would love to partner with and work with, and why?
Well, gosh, we want to work with everybody, right? We think that, you'll see on our building, it's a different picture, but, we believe that we're changing the way brands interact with consumers every day, especially with mobile and social and really multi-channel integration. I guess, there are tons of brands out there. We want to work with all of them. I know that's kind of like a generic answer, but
On a personal level, we're doing some Star Wars stuff for Hasbro, for Star Wars collecting. As a Star Wars collecting geek, that was awesome.
Yeah, go ahead.
Is there any companies you wouldn't work with?
Interesting.
Well, there's a right answer. There's a right and wrong answer. Being my Coke Rewards and a Coke company.
Oh, well, yes.
So figure that one out.
Figure that one
Well,
out.
there you go.
Yeah, we did a Miller High Life rewards program. So when you bought a case of Miller High Life and it says earn rewards, get points, interact with us, that was our company that did that with them.
Yeah, way in the back.
Would you have any advice to like a college student who's looking to move to Seattle after graduation?
Sure, call me up. Come get my card.
The card's here.
Yeah, we can chat.
And take an umbrella.
Yeah. And start drinking coffee every other hour.
And totally dig out Nirvana.
Everyone is.
How do you bring a client around to seeing a vision for a campaign that they may disagree with and feel strong?
Right, so, I think it's, sometimes you get there and sometimes you don't. A lot of you know that are in the creative industry. I think that you gotta bring it back to what their goals and objectives are and what the results you're gonna drive for them, right? This is the challenge you put out to us, and you came to us for different ideas and different creative ideas that maybe you wouldn't have thought of. This is why we believe, always bring it back to
the why.
what they wanted to do and what they,
Bring it to the why.
Yeah.
Have you ever had an ad campaign utterly tank? And if so, how did you bounce back from that with that client and keep them on?
Yeah, with the digital media and everything, where you can see in real time that it's tanking.
Yeah.
That's the thing. You can see how many hits you're getting,
Yeah.
how long people are sticking on a page, where they're going after that, why, not why they left, but you can, you can immediately see if it's tanking or not.
Right. We obviously don't share results of our clients' campaigns because of confidentiality, but as Darren said, we're watching all the time. Especially with emerging technology and new platforms and social platforms, sometimes it's just taking a chance and you don't know if it's gonna work or not, right? But just getting out there and trying it and learning along the way and understanding what worked and what didn't work. Was it the campaign? Was it the media driving to the campaign? Were you talking to the right people?
Was it button placement? Was the next step hard to see? Wasn't there a good prize call out? Were people getting lost?
For instance, Pinterest is huge right now, right? So clients come to us and say, we need to be on Pinterest. Well, do you need to be on Pinterest? Just because everybody's talking about it, it may not be right for your brand. You can't put the same content on Pinterest that you put on Facebook, that you put on Twitter, that you put on your website, right? It's gotta be tailored to that audience and you have to speak with them in their terms, right? So it's a lot of trying different things out there, and some things work and some things don't.
Yeah.
You tried any social news site advertising? I know that it's very difficult for anyone to really monetize on the Reddit platform. Have you ever tried anything on that platform?
We really haven't yet. Have we, Melissa? No.
Thing that we did, I can't remember what the campaign was, but it was Microsoft, and it was it was to design your own. It was a call out for a scholarship.
Oh.
Program.
So,
It was on.
I guess, once, yeah. Anybody else? Well, thank you so much. This is really an honor for us to speak with you.